not on the conditions around you, but on your ability to act despite them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That's the Stoic way, direct, uncomfortable, and liberating. Stop waiting for someone to push you, guide you, or reassure you. Move. Because if you rely on others to ignite your fire, you'll forever live in the shadows of their expectations. When you depend on others to move, you surrender your own rhythm. You start living on borrowed momentum, and the moment they slow down, you stop too. But when your movement comes from within, no one can take it from you. The pace might be slower, the path lonelier, but it's yours." Epictetus taught that the only thing truly ours is our will, our capacity to choose. You can't control who helps you, who leaves, or who believes in you, but you can always control whether you take the next step. And that step, taken in silence, without applause, is worth more than 1,000 inspired speeches. The truth is, people will disappoint you, not because they're cruel, but because they're human. Everyone is fighting their own invisible battle. You might reach out for encouragement and find emptiness instead. You might expect loyalty and meet indifference, but that's okay. It's part of growing up, part of learning that no one can walk your path for you. When you understand this, something changes inside you. You stop resenting people for not being there. You stop blaming others for your stagnation. You begin to realize that waiting for external validation is just another form of fear. Fear of facing your own strength. Think of the sun. It rises every morning without applause. It doesn't ask for permission to shine. It just does what it's meant to do. That's how you must learn to move, quietly, consistently, independently. And yes, there will be moments when it feels heavy, when your own mind whispers, "What's the point?" But those moments are your test. They are the moments that separate the dreamers from the doers. Because true discipline is doing the work when no one is watching, when no one will ever know, when the only reward is knowing that you didn't give up on yourself. Remember, depending on others to move is a subtle way of saying, "I'm not enough yet." But you are. You've always been. You just forgot, because the world keeps telling you that progress is a group project. It's not. It's personal. It's sacred. It's between you and the person you're becoming. So move, even when no one believes in you, especially then, because every step you take alone becomes a declaration that your life belongs to you and no one else can live it for you. And maybe that's the greatest freedom of all, realizing that the people who walk beside you can inspire you, but the one who must keep moving is you. 5. Solitude is training, not punishment. Most people fear being alone. They see solitude as exile, as proof that something is wrong with them, that they've been left behind or forgotten. But solitude is not a sentence. It's a sacred space. A place where your mind stops performing and starts revealing, where your spirit begins to stretch and strengthen in ways it never could with noise around. The world tells you to stay busy, to stay connected, to fill every silence with chatter and every hour with company. But solitude, real solitude, is where transformation happens. It's the quiet gym of the soul. The Stoics knew this. They withdrew often, not to escape life, but to prepare for it. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, found time every day to write in silence, to confront his thoughts and discipline his emotions. Because solitude is not withdrawal from the world, it's training for it. When you're alone, you begin to notice things you usually miss. The way your mind tries to create noise to avoid discomfort. The way you chase distractions instead of peace. At first, Solitude feels like standing in front of a mirror for too long. You see everything, the flaws, the fears, the patterns. But if you stay long enough, something shifts. You start to see beneath them. You realize that the noise you thought was the world was mostly you. Epictetus taught that no man is free who is not master of himself. Solitude is how you gain that mastery. When no one is around to validate you, to agree or disagree, to soothe or provoke, you are forced to face the raw version of yourself. You can't hide behind performance or charm. You meet your true mind, the impatient part, the insecure part, the dreaming part. And in that meeting, growth begins. It's uncomfortable, yes. Growth always is. But solitude teaches you endurance, emotional endurance. It trains you to hold space for your own emotions without needing anyone to fix them. It builds internal strength the same way lifting weights builds muscle. You learn to stay calm without comfort, to stay steady without support, to stay focused without distraction. When you understand solitude, you stop fearing loneliness. You realize that loneliness is not the absence of people, it's the absence of connection to yourself. Solitude, on the other hand, is intimacy with your own soul. It's where you refill your strength and reset your direction. Think of solitude as a forge. The fire burns hot, but it shapes you. You enter as raw metal, full of noise, insecurity, and need, and emerge as something solid, clear, and grounded. The heat doesn't destroy you, it refines you. That's why so many people avoid it, because refinement demands facing the fire. There will be days when solitude feels heavy, when you miss voices, warmth, or simple presence. But those days are tests, not signs that you're doing it wrong, but proof that you're still learning how to be whole without dependence. Every hour spent in true solitude adds a layer of self-trust that no crowd can give you. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you, and sometimes that person is yourself." Sit with your thoughts as if you were sitting with an old friend. Listen to what they're trying to tell you. Let solitude become your teacher, not your punishment. Because once you master being alone, no one can manipulate your peace again. You stop clinging, chasing, or begging for attention. You stop fearing abandonment because you've learned to be your own anchor. Solitude doesn't take you away from the world. It sends you back into it stronger, calmer, and clearer than before. It teaches you that your worth was never in the noise, the crowd, or the applause. It was always in your ability to stand still in silence and still feel complete. So, don't resist solitude. Step into it. Train in it. Let it shape you quietly, because the ones who can stand alone are the ones who can truly stand for something. 6. No one understands your battle like you do. There are battles you can't explain, the kind that live beneath the surface, invisible, quiet, and constant. You wake up every morning carrying them, smile when you have to, pretend when you must, and yet inside there's a storm no one else seems to notice. You try to talk about it, maybe even hint at it, but people rarely understand. They see the surface, not the struggle. They hear the words, not the weight behind them. And after a while, you stop trying to make them see. That's when the truth settles in. No one understands your battle like you do. And maybe they're not supposed to. We all have inner wars, doubts that whisper in the night, memories that haunt, fears that never fully disappear. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius fought his wars inside his own mind every single day. He ruled an empire, yet his greatest victories were invisible. Battles against anger, fear, and fatigue that no historian could ever write about. It's easy to assume that others have it easier, that people who look calm have peace, that those who smile are happy. But the world hides its wounds well. Everyone you meet is carrying something, a silent battle between who they are and who they wish to be. And just because your pain looks different doesn't make it less real. There's a kind of loneliness that comes from fighting what no one else can see. But solitude in your battle isn't a curse. It's an initiation. It's life's way of teaching you to rely on your own understanding, your own intuition, your own resilience. Because when no one can fight for you, you begin to discover how much power has been waiting within you all along. Epictetus once said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. Your struggles do the same. They reveal you, your patterns, your limits, your strength. Every internal war is a mirror showing you what still needs to be understood, healed, or accepted. Sometimes you'll look for empathy and find silence. You'll reach for comfort and find misunderstanding. It's painful, yes, but necessary. Because the world isn't built to fully understand you. It's built to challenge you into understanding yourself. The truth is, most people can't see your battle because they haven't fought their own. They speak from theory, not experience. They might give advice, but they can't walk your path, and that's okay. Their role isn't to save you. It's to remind you that you can survive without being fully understood. When you stop expecting everyone to get it, something magical happens. You stop needing their validation. You stop trying to translate your pain into something digestible. You begin to carry it differently, not as a burden, but as armor. You walk with quiet strength, knowing that while no one else may fully understand what you're going through, you do. And that's enough. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When you internalize that, you start to realize that most of your pain isn't caused by the world, but by the stories you tell yourself about it, by the expectation that someone else should understand, fix, or carry what's yours to face. The battle becomes lighter when you stop asking others to see it. You don't need everyone to understand your fight. You just need to keep showing up for yourself inside it, to keep choosing courage over comfort, truth over denial, growth over self-pity. The people meant for you will see your strength in your silence, not your suffering in your words. So keep fighting, quietly, faithfully, not for attention, but for transformation. Because when no one understands your battle, you begin to understand yourself. And that's the kind of understanding that builds peace, the kind that no one can take away. And maybe that's the quiet reward of all this, the realization that even if no one sees your war, they'll see your light. 7. Recognition is a sweet poison. Recognition feels good, doesn't it? That brief moment when someone notices your effort, praises your work, or calls your name in a room that used to ignore you. It hits the brain like a drug, subtle, warm, addictive. And yet, like all drugs, the high fades, leaving behind the quiet hunger for more. The need to be seen again, to be validated again, to feel relevant again. That's when you realize the truth. Recognition is a sweet poison. The Stoics warned about this long before the world was flooded with followers, likes, and applause. They knew that the desire to be seen could enslave even the most disciplined mind. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Because the moment you start living for the eyes of others, you stop living for your own purpose. Recognition, when chased, becomes a silent trap. It whispers, "You're only valuable when they notice." And once you believe that, you lose control of your own worth. You begin adjusting your behavior to be approved, diluting your truth to be accepted. You start performing, not living. And every time someone praises you, it feeds the addiction. Every time they don't, it deepens the withdrawal. Think about it. How many times have you worked harder just to be seen? Not because it mattered to you, but because you wanted to prove something. Recognition can disguise itself as motivation, but its core is dependency. The Stoic path asks you to detach from this need, not to reject appreciation, but to see it clearly for what it is, fleeting and unstable. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Fame is but smoke, and reputation is nothing but noise." The Emperor of Rome, a man worshipped by millions, still reminded himself that external praise meant nothing compared to inner integrity, because recognition feeds the ego, while silence feeds the soul. When you begin to rise in life, when you grow, create, or achieve, the world will notice, and that's fine. Gratitude for recognition is natural, but depending on it is dangerous, because the world's applause can change in an instant. The same people who cheer for you today can forget you tomorrow. The same voices that call you inspiring can turn silent when your truth no longer entertains them. The wise learn to treat recognition like dessert, sweet, enjoyable, but never the meal. They eat purpose for breakfast, discipline for lunch, and peace for dinner. Recognition? That's just the aftertaste. True freedom comes when you no longer crave being seen, when you can pour your soul into something meaningful without the need for anyone to witness it, when you find satisfaction in the doing, not the display. That's when you become untouchable. Seneca said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." The same applies to attention. When your focus is scattered between others' opinions, you lose the depth of your own life. You can't build anything real while constantly wondering who's watching. And here's the paradox.